making sense of politics and the cultural divide from a different perspective. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant on News Radio 710 Keel.
Hello, citizens. It's a great day in the USA. It is Monday, and we're back to work advancing the cause of American liberty and freedom. This is C.L. Bryant, America on the Edge. Well, you'll not live on the edge. You'll have the edge. Broadcasting from within the borders of the greatest success story the world has ever known, the USA. And I'm here with my co-host, Stephen Parr. Stephen, tell the folks what kind of lineup we got for them today.
Oh, we got a packed show today, CL. Today we're starting with, we're going to connect the dots between immigration, impeachment, and fundraising. There's a game being played out there. We're gonna show you the game, and personally, I don't think it's an honest game that's being played.
I'll say Stephen is not honest.
We're also going to be talking with meteorologist Joe Bastardi. This is a hero of mine and a crusader in the climate wars.
The crusader in the climate wars.
He has got a lot of information, and one of the things that I like about him is when he makes long-range predictions, they come true.
Did you say he's a weather guru?
Absolutely. I learned a lot from watching Joe Bastardi when I was doing weather for KSLA and other stations.
I understand your mom still thinks you're doing the weather.
Yes. My mother did ask if there's a hurricane heading her way in the next week, so I still do forecasting for friends. And then we're also going to be talking about concealed carry laws. There's a doctor that had to defend his life and the life of everybody in the hospital he was in. And we're going to be talking about concealed carry laws. And that actually leads to our question of the day. Does concealed carry make the country safer, or does it make it more dangerous? We want to know what you think. Please give us a phone call, 318-320-KEEL, 320-KEEL. You can also send us a tweet at The American Edge, or you can contact us on Facebook, facebook.com/America on the Edge. And we've been getting a lot of comments on that already.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will.
But first, let's listen to the buzz.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening.
CL, have you ever bought a car and then you went, ooh, I don't think, I'd have to get it home. You drive, you're like, I don't think I should have bought this car.
Oh, yeah, man, I hope I never go back to those days.
So the country is experiencing a little bit of buyer's remorse right now. There's a poll that just came out from CNN, and the poll says that if the election were today, we wouldn't vote for Obama. 53% of the country says they would have voted for Romney.
Guess what, America? Guess what? It's just too late. So I guess we got to figure out what to do from here.
And there just hasn't been much going right for Obama, and it really has been many parts of his base have been leaving him.
The word snake bit comes to mind.
And yet, not everyone has left the president. And, we don't always agree with Bill Maher. But on his show this last week, he said something that I kind of agree with. Listen to him talking about who still supports the president.
Hollywood liberals, they are still crazy in love with him. Even when his motorcade turns the freeway into a parking lot, they're like, that was the most inspirational traffic jam I have.
Yeah,
the way
Bill.
All the cars came together. Yeah, that's the problem. The cars came together.
Bill does have his moments of levity, and it just goes to show that Bill will take a shot at anybody.
Yeah, he will. And that was a pretty funny one. And actually, your friend Matt Kibbe was on that same show with Bill Maher. And Matt with Freedom Works, not always necessarily a friendly guest on that show. I guess there's a little acrimony there.
There was some angst there.
Yeah, so listen to him talk on the show. Matt Kibbe on Bill Maher this last week.
First of all, I will tell you that I would not be the kind of guy that would blame Obama first on all of the problems happening in the world.
Oh, good.
I would go back to the Bush administration and argue that going into Iraq was a bad idea.
Maybe this won't be such a fight after all.
maybe we're done now, but I would also say that this president has zero respect in the world, and our enemies.
No, say you ruined it already, Matt.
And you see, that's fair and balanced. That's Matt Kibbe, the CEO and president of FreedomWorks, an organization that I'm a fellow with there in Washington, D.C. That's a fair and balanced answer. I mean, the fact, what Matt said is right on. Bush does shoulder some of this blame, but the fact is, not until now have our enemies been in a position where they don't respect us, and our allies don't really trust us.
Well, and I'm going to go back to what Bill Maher said, where he started to disagree with Matt Kibbe at that point after Kibbe said that nobody respects us overseas. Bill Maher really already made that argument earlier by making fun of liberals, Hollywood liberals, still being in awe of Obama. The reason why that joke is funny is because nobody else is.
Nobody else is. And you know what? I really don't understand what they're so enamored with him about. This man is all about taking their money.
Right.
Through taxes.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand it. I just don't get it.
So let's talk about Hollywood celebrities, and actually in this case, one that has passed away. Philip Seymour Hoffman made the news post-mortem because he did not leave any of his $35 million fortune to his kids. He left it all to their mother, Mimi O'Donnell, despite the fact that they were not still together at the time of his death. And it's because he says he didn't want his kids to be trust fund kids.
You know, he's a brilliant, brilliant actor. It's sad, tragic even, that his life would end the way that it did. However, that is a trend. I understand that Sting is doing the same thing.
Right.
With his money.
Sting is saying that I'll be watching you, not spend my money.
Yeah.
And that is, again, the same idea.
Well, you know, Jane and I, we're spending as much of our kids' inheritances as possibly can.
And as it stands right now, my kids have no inheritance. So, but you know what? I think it actually is really a good trend of because how many kids of Hollywood actors do you see grow up just absolutely unproductive?
Yeah, I've seen it often, and it's sad that somehow kids that of privilege, and many times, in fact, I knew one was a close friend of mine, father, oil tycoon. He basically worthless. I don't understand how that happens. But anyway, America is on the edge for many other reasons. We'll be right back in a minute. This is C.L. Bryant with Stephen Parr.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
The Italians are not the only lovers of pizza, but just to make the Johnny's Pizza House experience more authentic for you, we invite you to be Italian. We'll whisk you far, far away to a land of romance and squisito Italian pizza. A 12-inch for just $12.99 begins your journey. Our new bacon and tomato pizza seasoned with Johnny's special Italian blend. Enjoy, no. Goodere Johnny's bacon and tomato pizza today. Johnny's Pizza House. Taste the best.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Byrne. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get 'em, CL.
It's a summer sizzler showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
If you haven't yet, go to our website, AmericaOnTheEdge.com. It's different than most websites out there, and that's because it's not a website, it's our nation, created by Logic Nation. As we're launching this new kind of radio show, we decided to partner with a new kind of internet company. Logic Nation gives us a new way to interact with you through your existing social media platforms. We've got Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, all in one place, which makes it easy. Too much of the time, social media becomes a place where we bicker and fight rather than listen and learn. Logic Nation gives us the ability to start a new conversation on air and online. So now when you go to our nation page and start a conversation with CL or with me, we can stay focused on that discussion without getting distracted. It's going to change things, and I believe for the better. Logic Nation has an app to make it easier to browse content on your mobile devices. You can download that for free today. If you have a business that needs to reach your customers in a new interactive way, you should give Logic Nation a try.
Conserving water doesn't take a major change in lifestyle. It's mostly a matter of using good common sense. Water your lawn during the morning or evening to minimize evaporation. You'll also get greater soil saturation and plant absorption. And avoid overwatering. If runoff occurs, stop immediately. The declining Sparta aquifer is our main water source in North Louisiana. Do your part for water conservation. Be Sparta smart. Make every drop count. This public service announcement is brought to you by this radio station, a member of the Sparta Media Network.
Is your house just not cool enough when you walk in from work? You deserve to sit in the cool and comfort of your own home after a long, hard day. Give the friendly folks at Premier a call at 222-1980.
Let me cut through all of the noise.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
Right here on your news and weather station.
Where consumers of hard news go.
On News Radio 710 Keel. 710 Keel. 710 Keel. Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr. On News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr. Our question of the day, does concealed carry make the country safer or less safe? Let us know what you think. You can give us a phone call, 318-320-KEEL, 320-KEEL. You can also hit us up on Twitter at The American Edge and on Facebook.com/America on the Edge. We've been getting a lot of responses on this question online already, and one of them is from Michael. Michael says, it makes our neighborhoods safer for our neighbors and makes our neighborhoods more dangerous for the thugs.
No, I don't agree with that. What do you say? I'm sorry.
It says it makes it more safer for Americans, but more dangerous for the thugs.
Makes it more dangerous for the thugs.
Yeah, the people trying to break into your house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It does make it more dangerous for the thugs. I was about to say we want it more dangerous for the thugs, but that is what he's saying.
Yeah.
And so I'm all in agreement with it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're now talking about there's a connection here between immigration, impeachment, and fundraising. And I'm going to connect. I want to connect the dots because this is an issue that was started last week. And it started really rolling over the weekend. And I want to make sure everybody listening to our show really understands how this is working. It started last week with Dan Pfeiffer. Dan Pfeiffer on Friday morning was with the Christian Science Monitor at a breakfast there. And he started talking about this whole immigration issue with the president. Because Congress hasn't passed an immigration bill, and the president is now saying he is going to act on his own. And the actions he could take could, according to some reports, essentially amount to amnesty for anybody that's already here.
Bad news.
I think it's horrible news.
It would be terrible news, man. And I'm telling you, there are people out there rattling the sabers of impeachment. And I'm not really on with that either. And I'll tell you why. I think that the president is his own worst enemy. I think he's the best guy on our side right now because of what he's doing. And I think we play right into the hands of them emotionally rallying their base if, in fact, we go there.
Great. Let's make that point here. Listen to Dan Pfeiffer with the Christian Science Monitor on Friday morning.
Speaker Boehner, by going down the path of this lawsuit, has opened the door to Republicans possibly considering impeachment at some point in the future. And I think that the president acting on immigration reform will certainly up the likelihood that they would contemplate impeachment at some point.
So what he's saying is the president's going to act on his own on immigration reform, and he expects that to make Republicans try to go for more impeachment, or at least talk about impeachment more. And that really actually goes even against what the Republican leadership is saying. Yes, Sarah Palin has called for impeachment. Yes, there have been isolated voices, but the leadership of the Republican Party is not calling for it. And in case you need any other defense of that or support for that, listen to Steve Scalise, representative from Louisiana, now the majority whip.
Mm-hmm.
Will you consider impeaching the president?
No, this might be the first White House in history that's trying to start the narrative of impeaching their own president. Ultimately, what we want to do is see the president follow the laws. But the president took an oath to faithfully execute the laws of this land, and he's not.
What I like about what he's saying is that it is the Democrats who are pushing this narrative.
Yes.
It's not Republicans who are. Yeah, you were right. Sarah's out there saying it in small little corners of that right wing. But by and large, Republicans are not in favor of impeaching this president. Actually, it'd be more trouble than it's worth.
Well, yeah, because if let's say you do get impeachment all the way through, and let's say for somehow you get 17 senators on the Democrat side to join with you, now all you've done is you've made Joe Biden president.
Yeah, I mean, and Joe Biden's the best insurance policy that anyone can have if you're holding the office of president. I mean, Obama, yeah, he's bad. But Joe Biden, he's worse. I mean, let's just face it. He's worse. I didn't really know he was an idiot until he became vice president.
Well, he certainly has a habit of opening mouth and inserting foot, and sometimes it's not even his own foot.
He's brilliant at it.
Yeah. So getting back to the point of Steve Scalise saying that the Democrats are using this for fundraising, well, I'll tell you what, listen to some more of this interview with Chris Wallace and Steve Scalise.
So we're going to continue to be a check and a balance against this administration.
But impeachment is off the table.
Well, the White House wants to talk about impeachment, and ironically, they're going out and trying to fundraise off of that, too.
I'm asking you, sir.
Look, the White House will do anything they can to change the topic away from the president's failed agenda.
And I'm still saying, even though Chris Wallace is a pundit on Fox often, Chris was trying to get him to say, yeah, we want to fall in line with that.
Right, and Scalise didn't.
He didn't bite.
To be fair, Steve Scalise did not come straight out and say impeachment's off the table.
Right.
But what he was trying to say is that's not what we're trying to do. Democrats are really drumming up this, and the Democrats are drumming up this impeachment conversation. And then they're using it for fundraising. And it's not just because Steve Scalise said it. Let me read you an excerpt of the email Nancy Pelosi sent out at 7:30 Western time, or 7:30, I guess, Eastern time, excuse me.
This should be fun.
On Friday. It said, sorry to email you late on a Friday, but I need your urgent support. Yesterday, for the first time in history, Congress voted to sue a sitting president. Yeah, she's kind of right on that. We'll get to that in just a second. Today, the White House alerted us that they believe Speaker Boehner has opened the door to impeachment. The White House believes this.
Yeah.
Even though Boehner said no.
And, folks, this is exactly the point that I was making here just a moment ago. There are emotional flames that Nancy Pelosi, Stephen, they're wanting to fan.
Right.
As well as Harry Reid and the rest of the gang, because that's the only card they really have to play, is that emotional card. And now they want to rally the troops because they want America to think that those ugly Republicans, those mean old Republicans, they want to impeach the first black president. That's what they want to go after.
Again, the White House believes Boehner wants to impeach. Therefore, here's the last quote. We could use your support today. All gifts are triple matched.
Oh, so there they are.
Yeah.
There they are. That's the rallying cry.
And then, a few hours later, the DCCC sent out almost the exact same email. They say, we are now on full red alert at Democrat headquarters. We are scrambling to defend the president in every way we can at this critical moment. According to our records, you haven't chipped in and fight back.
Now, folks, I want you to understand that it's important now that we say nothing about impeaching this guy. Let them just simmer in their own. They really think that we're stupid. They believe that they can set any narrative that they want out there in front of them. And guess what? The media, the left media, they're going to drive this. ABC, NBC, CBS, they're all going to drive this story.
Right.
And most of Americans are going to believe that the Republicans are now wanting to impeach the president when that is not what Republicans are saying.
Here's what Republicans are actually doing. The House, a subcommittee on the House, did pass legislation on Thursday that would allow the entire House to sue the president for not executing the laws.
Right.
So that's never happened in the history. That is true. It wasn't that the entire House has cleared the way for the lawsuit. A subcommittee did, and that's what Nancy Pelosi started campaigning on, and then they've blown this up into impeachment. A lawsuit is not impeachment. The reason they're doing the lawsuit is because they don't want to do impeachment.
You know, Stephen, the sad part for me is that there is a lot of baggage that did come along, a lot of first that did come along with President Obama. first black president, but the first president, regardless of his color, to actually overreach as far as the laws are concerned, as far as the Constitution is concerned. I believe because of his progressive liberal roots, the Saul Alinsky roots that he has, along with others like Hillary Clinton, who is a Saul Alinsky disciple, he felt as though he had the cover of color to shade his duties and his activities. And I think that we're all going to be very sad, and history, I think, is going to record his presidency as a failure because he misjudged the American people.
We are America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. If you would like to support the show, you can send us an email at ad@americaontheedge.com, ad@americaontheedge.com. Plus, we want to know your answer to our question of the day. Concealed carry, does it make the country safer or not? Why or not? Send us a tweet at The American Edge or call 318-320-KEEL. Up next with the hero of mine, Joe Bastardi, the climate warrior.
You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Come and enjoy a delicious and authentic Italian meal at Giuseppe's on Line Avenue. The family-friendly dining room is perfect on any occasion. For the past 50 years, Chef Giuseppe has made all of his pastas, sauces, breads, and desserts from scratch daily. Giuseppe's also offers gluten-free options so all can enjoy. Join Chef Giuseppe for an amazing lunch or dinner this week and experience a true authentic taste of Italy. Giuseppe's on Line Avenue, the place for authentic Italian cuisine. Drs. Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
SB Magazine, North Louisiana's premier publication, is your source for local entertainment, home decor ideas, gardening information, fashion trends, and seasonal gift guides. Every month, we take you behind the scenes at some of Shreveport-Bossier's most fun events in Ion SB. And you'll find SB Magazine everywhere. But the best way to make sure you have the most current issue is to subscribe. It's just $16 for 12 months. Call Debbie today or go to our website, sbmag.net. SB Magazine, the pulse of Shreveport-Bossier. Have you ever thought, I wish I didn't have to search for the best price on printing or direct mail? Tired of trying to design your own material on some confusing website just to get to the end and it's not that professional look your business needs? Well, stop searching and call Graphic Industries. We've been waiting on your business, ready to help you with your printing and direct mail needs. Graphic Industries offers all types of print, stationery, brochures, flyers, catalogs, door hangers, books, pocket folders, postcards, variable printed letters, and much, much more. Graphic Industries can direct mail for you, too. You can customize a mailing list, target a certain demographic, or just flood the market and get your name in the homes of thousands of potential clients. Lowest prices, best quality, and a faster turn time. Visit us online at graphicindustries.net. or call us today at 318-222-1100. Graphic Industries, the #1 choice of printing and direct mail.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr, and with us now, a hero of mine. I really can't tell you how much I have learned from watching this gentleman over the years. Joe Bastardi is the chief forecaster for weatherbell.com. I subscribe to weatherbell.com. I'm a meteorologist. I still subscribe to this because they've got excellent tools. If you are a weather fanatic, you got to sign up for this stuff. And the other thing is that you get Joe's long-range insights.
Joe Bastardi is a weather guru. And, Stephen, I'm really glad that you were able to get him on. Joe, welcome to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and my co-host, Stephen Parr. Glad you're with us.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. I have roots in Shreveport to some extent. I bet you didn't know I was an honorary Shreveport police chief.
Did not know that. That's outstanding.
No idea.
Yeah, 1983. They wouldn't make me an honorary mayor, but I was on the air with lovable Larry Ryan at the time and J.P. Huddleston.
Yeah.
And what happened was I predicted that big snowstorm you guys got hit with, and I was trying to be a wise guy with Larry. Larry says, first of all, I'd just been on for a week, and I says, they say, you got 6 to 12 inches of snow coming to Shreveport? I go, yep. And he goes, well, okay, Yankee, because I was up from Pennsylvania. He said, what time is this going to start?
Was Mr. Weather still with him? Was Mr. Weather with him then?
Who was? I'm sorry.
Was Mr. Weather on with Larry back then?
No, it was J.P. Huddleston who was on in the news in the morning. No, this was back in '83. So I said I became the weatherman. So what happened was I was a wise guy. I said 10:39. It's going to be like a white cloud overspread the city, and sure enough, I thought it'd be snowing by noon, but he said I couldn't believe it. It came across. They got thumped, and you had another snow that year. This was 1983, and after that, they flew me down there for the crawfish boil, the big crawfish festival.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you folks, I ate it with the jelly, so I know what I'm doing down there. So, but that was a great time, and I always been to Shreveport a couple times, and always enjoyed my times down there. So anyway, there is a little bit of a connection here, and I think back to those days, and those folks I talked to were just wonderful. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, Joe, you and I are a little bit. We're not supposed to exist. When you read the trades, when you read the newspapers, they say 99.99% of all scientists say there is no such that they agree that global warming is going on, that it's man-made, that it's going to be catastrophic, and that carbon dioxide is the reason for it. You and I don't agree with that. That must mean we don't exist.
Well, here's the thing. That figure is really very, very deceptive in that, for instance, there were only X amount of people that returned the questionnaire, and what the 97% of the people that returned that question said that answer. It's kind of funny because I was speaking out at the Heartland Conference, and Dana Rohrabacher asked, how many of you people believe in climate change? And 100% of us raised our hand. All right? The 600 people, all of us with degrees and about 100 PhDs sitting in the audience. We all believe the climate changes. That's why if you go up to Wisconsin, they've been rainforests in Wisconsin. There's also been glaciers all the way down in New York City. Why do you think the lower Mississippi Valley is so fertile? Because at one time it was under the Gulf of Mexico. It was the Gulf of Mexico. So the climate's always changing, and it's the design of the planet. 3/4 of the land in the northern hemisphere, 3/4 of the water in the southern hemisphere, Earth wobbling on its axis. The sun is a variable star. It's not always a constant star. So the incoming radiation, outgoing radiation, product of centuries and centuries of just back and forth, trying to find a balance it can't have.
Joe, let me ask you this.
Let me just give all of us believe the climate changes. But when he asked the question, how many of you believe that men are causing the climate to change, no one raised their hand. So out of those 600 scientists in that room, 100% of them don't believe that man is causing the climate to change. And in addition, if you look at stuff like, for instance, the Oregon petition, over 31,000 of us signed a petition saying we do not support the Kyoto Accords. And there were 9,000 of those people that were PhDs. Now, how come nobody brings that up?
Nobody ever does. Nobody ever does. Let me ask you this, Joe. What's the end game in them having us want to accept without any reservation the fact that they're right and people like you and Stephen are wrong? What's the end game in that?
Well, first of all, they're not right. because they made statements and they're not occurring. If I told you there's going to be, if I told Lovable Larry back there there's going to be a foot of snow and start pouring rain, you get a foot of snow, I can't say, well, it's natural variability. It melted before it hit the ground. They're not right. The temperature's no longer rising. In addition, there are really some hideous things going on, folks. For instance, since 1978, we've had the ability to measure temperatures by satellite. The objective ability. So at the end, 1978 is when the Pacific flipped into its warm cycle. So it's almost like we've walked into a bathroom and turned on a warm shower. Of course, the air is going to heat up till it adapts to that type of thing. But we weren't measuring temperatures by satellite before. Now, what they're doing is they are readjusting temperatures down in those pre-satellite era. And so you look at the 1930s, over 50% of the state highs in the United States were set in the 1930s, yet all these other decades from 1880 all the way up to 2010, we've only had the other 50%. So
You're talking about high temperature. You're talking about high temperature records there.
The states, yes.
Yeah.
It's not getting any hotter. The reason why you're getting some of the temperatures being higher is, A, you're getting more stations online, B, more of them are in cities. Okay, when you took off one-third of the, you took off close to one-third of the reporting stations of the planet when they, when the Soviet Union broke down, they just erased all their weather stations out in the middle of nowhere. So that added a whole, by taking those cold places off, you added to the database a lot of warm things. But what they're doing is they're doing something called normalization of temperature, which means that basically they have carte blanche to change anything and make it the way they want. Now, I just blogged on the Patriot Post about, if you read the quotes of the people driving this, read their quotes, their exact words, you will see that this has very little to do, if nothing to do, with science. And then when you go to the fact that since fiscal year 1993, we spent $165 billion on climate change, and $35 billion of that is on climate science, no wonder we spent only $130 billion to put a man on the moon and then build a moon base. NASA, they're going to where the money is there.
Joe, let me go back and ask you this, because you just said something that's very interesting, and I don't want it to escape our listeners. Are you saying that they're not entering in the cold places like Siberia and places like that these days when they're figuring?
We could never before measure temperatures in the Arctic. We had an Arctic station up there, by the way. The Danish have been running a station up there. It had its coldest summer on record last year, and this year is trying to beat it up there. Most of the warming, gentlemen, has occurred in the Arctic winters. And here's what happens. The metric we use to judge global warming is obviously temperature. People say, okay, yeah, temperature. But the number one greenhouse gas is water vapor. The warming in the Arctic of 3, 4, 5 degrees has very little effect on the total global water vapor compared to the drop in the tropical oceans that began in 2007 in the Pacific. That's where the shooting match is. The shooting match is that the oceans are the great thermostat of the world. Bill Gray, the famed hurricane forecaster out of Colorado State, for years was saying we were going to go into a warm period like this because he's got something what we call the meridional overturning circulation. What is that? That is this big cycle in the ocean that's driven where the ocean is a constant state of currents coming up in one place, falling in another. It's what we call a thermohaline circulation. It's all over the planet. Now, how does it start? It's a product of decades and centuries of action and reaction of the entire planet. So what goes on here is basically you have these huge natural events, and what they're trying to say is that the increase of 1.8 parts per million a year by human beings, by the way, only 0.3 parts per million by the U.S., that's 0.3 parts per million by the U.S. a year, is the control knob on the climate. That's
insane.
Joe, you're getting to something I want to get at. By the way, you're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. We are talking to Joe Bastardi with weatherbell.com. Joe, we have about 2.5 minutes left here, and you're getting into something I really want you to try and sum up as quickly as you can, but your triple crown of climate change. Tell the people about that.
Well, what that is it's the sun, the oceans, and stochastic events are the main drivers of the climate. It's what Aristotle and kind of said, search for the unmoved mover. What is the unmoved mover? Do you think it's CO2? Of course not. It is the design of the system. And the sun is the grand conductor of the orchestra, okay? And what happens is that the oceans react, you get volcanic activity. These things have far, far more effect. You know, if you want to you just want to cut all this away, what I do is when I get tired of arguing with people, I say, what's the perfect temperature of the planet? Give it to me. They can't do that. Do you really believe 0.3 parts per million of CO2 a year by the U.S. is worth shutting down our economy and our way of life? Okay, where people are starving in the streets of this country. I know there are a lot of places where we could have spent $165 billion a lot better for this country and for some of the things that are going on. But that's the political realm of it. Okay, and finally, what's your forecast? When are your temperatures going to catch up to your projections? Because right now you're way behind. And I was on the O'Reilly factor back in 2007, put up that triple chronicle and say, you're going to start seeing the temperatures begin to fall off, and they are. And they're going to fall off faster once the Atlantic flips into its colder mode.
It's going to get cold down here in about a week.
It's a lot nastier to try to with the amount of people we have in this country and on this planet to put up with a colder climate than a warmer climate. Remember, man did not evolve out of the Arctic. Okay, we came from warm climates. So the whole thing is no longer, folks, about global warming. It's about political, economic, and there's another issue involved: people wanting to save the planet or look at themselves like they're gods or semi-gods and being worshipped and all this stuff. This is crazy. You know,
Joe, I want you to answer this real quick. Want you to answer this one real quickly for me. Do you think that it is arrogance on man's part, on our part, to think that somehow we have the power or the authority to control the weather?
My goodness, yes. And the arrogance of man is born out of the ignorance of God. That's what I believe. Okay, so you know what? People want to call me some kind of nut job or stuff. Ecclesiastes 1:9 sums it up. There's nothing new under the sun.
And on that note, Joe, we have to go. Stephen, I thank you for bringing in this great mind that we have here in America. Joe, thank you so much. God bless you and God keep you is my prayer for you. This is C.L. Bryant with Stephen Parr. We'll be back in a minute. America on the Edge.
Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Planning your next staycation? You don't have to go far to get away from it all. Just 30 minutes south of Shreveport, in the historic village of Grand Cane, stands the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. This stately treasure was built in the mid-1800s before the Civil War. The Cook Hill House is also the perfect place for weddings, receptions, parties, and showers. Call the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast at 318-858-0800. 318-858-0800. Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. Victorian elegance with country charm.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
If the number on your thermostat is going up just as quickly as the temperature outside, your air conditioner may have a serious problem. Give the friendly folks over at Premier Heating and Cooling a call at 222-1980.
This summer, when looking to reserve your venue for your large gathering, look no further than Giuseppe's on Line Avenue. Restaurante Giuseppe has the capacity to provide for your private event. From as intimate as 2 to as grand as 100 people. With space for wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, business meetings, or any other luncheon or dinner, Giuseppe's has you covered. With a beautiful dining room and spacious dining area, let Giuseppe's take your event from special to spectacular. Chef Giuseppe has been making authentic Italian cuisine for 50 years. Let him give you the meal you and your friends deserve. Contact Giuseppe's on Line Avenue today to book your event at 318-869-4548. That's 318-869-4548. Giuseppe's on Line Avenue. Call today.
Let me cut through all of the noise.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
Right here on your news and weather station.
Where consumers of hard news go.
On News Radio 710 Keel. 710 Keel. 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. Our question of the day today has been concealed carry laws. Do they make the country safer? Do they make us less safe? We want to know what you think. Give us a call, 318-320-KEEL, K-E-E-L, 320-KEEL. We have a phone call right now from Gary in Shreveport. CL, Gary is a retired police officer and joining us now.
Well, Gary, thank you so much for your service to our community. Thank you for calling in.
So what's your answer to the question?
Well, I believe in concealed carry. I've known it to help in the past. I've, worked cases where concealed carry, worked in detrimental toward the bad guy. And it's sad we got to arm the public to defend ourselves, but that's what it's come to.
Gary, let me ask you this. As a former police officer, did you or do you think that the ability of the citizen, the average citizen, to conceal a weapon, does that pose any threat to our officers?
No, it doesn't. I've run into it before, and they're very well versed on telling us, hey, we're holding, and we'll, go ahead and remove it for our safety and their safety. But of course, you get one of those in the wrong hands, like we've seen. Background fail, mental health issues, what have you. Yeah, it could be detrimental, but more so than not, no. They're very good about telling us.
Gary, thank you so much for calling in and being on our show. Appreciate your thoughts on this.
Okay. And
call back Stephen, often.
I will. And tell Stephen we miss him on 12.
Thank you very much. Well, he brought up the issue of mental health. Mm-hmm. And that leads into our next topic here, which is a tragedy, but also perhaps a bit of a tragedy averted. Up near Pennsylvania, in Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia, last week, a doctor, a psychiatrist, got into a shootout with a patient inside a hospital up there. Dr. Lee Silverman was forced to shoot a man named Richard Plotz.
Interesting.
Plotz was a psychiatric patient. He was there. He brought a gun into the hospital. He shot his caseworker and then shot Dr. Silverman, grazed him in the temple.
Okay, so this man was disturbed to begin with.
Right.
And somehow he got his... Do we know if whether or not that gun was actually registered to the person who shot his caseworker?
I don't know if it was registered to Mr. Plotz or not. I don't know that.
Yeah, because see, that's what Gary, that's what the retired officer here in Shreveport was saying about it is, people who are disturbed, mental situation like this, mentally ill situation like this, we do have to make certain that those guns stay out of the hands of people who are criminals and mentally ill.
And Mr. Plotz had two other weapons at his house that police found after they searched his home after the shooting incident. Dr. Silverman was able to shoot him 3 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm.
Good for him.
Richard Plotz went to the hospital. He was in critical condition for a while. He was recovered and now is charged with murder.
But see, the thing is, he's still crazy.
Right. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Certifiably. He's had issues. And the question is, how do we deal with these people? I don't think it's necessarily a gun issue. By the way, interesting thing on this gun issue, Dr. Silverman should not have had that weapon in the hospital. Hospital policy says no guns are allowed on the premises except by security personnel.
So we have a catch-22 here.
Yeah.
Silverman saves lives,
yeah,
but still may lose his job.
The hospital hasn't come out and said that yet, but he certainly violated hospital policy by having the weapon on him, but the weapon saved his life, and likely others. Listen to Police Chief Donald Molyneux from Yeadon, Pennsylvania.
Without that firearm, this guy could have went out in the hallway and just walked down the offices until we ran out of ammunition. So without a doubt, I mean, I believe the doctor saved lives.
You know, I'm going to stand with Dr. Silverman here on this one. I'm going to tell you why. Because the police chief has just said that this guy could have walked down the hall until he ran out of bullets.
And he had a lot of bullets on him.
He had at least 39 bullets there. That could have been carnage. Wounded and dead is what you would have been hearing.
And yet another one of these calls then for armed control laws. Interestingly, now every single state in the union, including Illinois, has a concealed carry law. The city of Washington, D.C. just had a case overturned by a district judge overturning the city's concealed carry ban, and the city is appealing that. But the rest of the union does have concealed carry laws in place.
Well, I just have to believe that when the bad guys know that they are facing an armed citizenry, the bad guys think twice about who they will prey on. And folks, what we have found across this land is where you have people who are unarmed. Well, you find it across this world.
Right.
When you have people who are unarmed, they are prey to the bad guys, whoever they are, whether they're government or whether they're just bad guys, criminals.
You do see that happening all over the world, from Nigeria to things going on in the Middle East. And certainly in totalitarian states across the planet. Hey, let us know what you think about this. Tell us where our analysis may be right or may be off. Do you believe concealed carry laws make the country safer or less safe? You can contact us on the phone, 318-320-KEEL. You can also hit us up on Twitter at The American Edge or on Facebook /AmericaOnTheEdge.com.
This is C.L. Bryant. We'll be right back.
You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
It's a summer sizzler showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
If you're tired of getting nickel and dime for your company's marketing needs, GI Marketing Group can help. We're a new, evolved marketing company with no monthly fees or markups and with quicker response times. With GI Marketing Group, there is no outsourcing. We own the production facilities, everything from print, mail, video, digital, and web design. We do it all in-house. Call us today at 318-222-1100 to start saving time and money, or visit us online at gimarketinggroup.com.
You don't have to go far to get away from it all. Just 30 minutes south of Shreveport in the historic village of Grand Cane stands the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. This stately treasure was built in the mid-1800s, before the Civil War. Today, antiques and homemade quilts fill king and queen size suites. Rooms come fully furnished with private baths and free cable and Wi-Fi. Plus, you get a homemade country breakfast from Grand Cane Gourmet Jane Bryant included in your reservation. The Cook Hill House is the perfect place for weddings, receptions, parties, and showers, or when simply planning your next staycation. Call the Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast at 318-858-0800. 318-858-0800. That's 318-858-0800. Cook Hill House Bed and Breakfast. Victorian elegance with country charm.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burns. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
Conserving water is mostly a matter of using good common sense. If everyone that used the Sparta aquifer simply turned the water off while they brush their teeth, we could save 1.5 million gallons of water per day. Before brushing, wet your brush and fill a glass of water to rinse your mouth. The declining Sparta aquifer is our main water source in North Louisiana. Do your part for water conservation. Be Sparta smart. Make every drop count. This public service announcement is brought to you by this radio station, a member of the Sparta Media Network.
Rush Limbaugh, the authority for all things right.
Let me cut through all of the noise. These senators do not want to control immigration. They want to expand it. Wealth will be redistributed from the middle class to a new class of poor. But what we're actually doing is importing poverty in order to enhance big government.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2, right here on your news and weather station, News Radio 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant. I am Stephen Parr, and our question of the day, do you believe that concealed carry laws make us safer? CL, a friend of yours, D-Rock, commented on this online, and he said criminals only prey on those whom they believe are defenseless. Concealed carry is our right to bear, and carrying makes us safer, most definitely.
Amen.
Now, the song we came back in with was Rocky Mountain High, John Denver, and it kind of relates to where you're going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm headed up to Denver, Colorado tomorrow to be with a group of people who a lot of folks say don't exist, and that is black conservatives in Colorado. They call themselves the Rocky Mountain Black Conservatives, or Rocky Mountain Black Tea Party, and going to go up there and visit with them, and Stephen will be broadcasting live from there. There will also be other conservatives, all types of grassroots people who will be there with me, Republicans who will be there with me, and we plan to have a great show tomorrow. I know that you'll hold it down right here at the fort. I
love the name Black Tea Party. I think that's excellent.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Everybody likes black tea. And then black tea the most common tea?
It's my favorite. I don't know if it's the most. I'm not a tea expert, but man, I like black tea. Yeah.
We, Matt Kibbe, who you heard earlier, and myself, along with some of my Freedom Works fellows, we established the first Jewish tea party in Tel Aviv. And we call it kosher tea. That's a fact. It's funny, but it's true.
I love that, too. That's excellent. So I think I know your answer to the question of the day, but do you believe concealed carry laws make us safer or less safe?
Yeah, I believe concealed carry laws absolutely make us safer, and I believe we need to make certain that everyone who is responsible understands that you should be able to protect your family and your property. And I want to give out a shout-out to D-Rock here because this song that we use to close out this show, it's called The Uniform. He wrote it, and he performs it. And it is a tribute to our men and women from coast to coast all over the world who defend our right, Stephen, to sit here behind this microphone on a daily basis and speak our mind. They defend our bread here in the greatest bread basket in the world, and that is America. We'll be back again with you tomorrow, 23 hours from now. This is C.L. Bryant. If you see a serviceman or a servicewoman trying to buy their own meal, why don't you pick up that tab for them? God bless you. God keep you. Till we talk to you again.
The American soldier understands to protect and defend what we believe and keep America strong and living free. They see the damage and the pain, shattered lives where evil reigns. Still they march on down